This is Listening with Franklin Livingston, and our guest is DG.
I know that as a provider, you work with a lot of patients who are elderly.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have been very close to your dad and mom.
Mm-hmm.
So when you deal with the elderly patients, how do you feel about that? Are you gratified or interesting, sad about some of the situations?
So yes, yeah, it's an eye opener when you see patients at a certain advancing age.
Hmm.
Because I have like patients who say like their regrets in life and everything, and I would see, because at that age, advanced age, elderly people, most of their kids or relatives are already busy, either the kids or the grandkids, and it is a sad reality that they end up being alone most of the time. And I would see like the happiness in their faces once their relatives get to visit them. Yeah, you would really see the twinkle in their eyes. So yes, I wish that more of the younger generations would be visiting their elderly parents or elderly grandparents to make time for them, because you never really get to see the value of that until that person is no longer here.
Yeah.
And yes, like now I would exchange like millions to just, or more than that. It's priceless to just be with a tiny bit of time with my mom, more, because my mom passed away suddenly, and that was a very brutal, traumatic experience for all of us. She passed away because there was like a negligence or something, from which I believe to be a negligence from her primary care doctor and some other professionals. So she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer at the very last moment, 1 week before she passed away. And I believe if she were, my mom was a hypochondriac, so she visited the primary care doctor every so often, every 3 months, with laboratories and everything. However, the doctor failed to highlight the fact that her kidney numbers were already problematic. And for that, my mom has like predisposing medical conditions, and the doctor should have known better to have alerted my sister and my mom to have an immediate further lab test to really check it, because at that time I believe that he could have diagnosed that there was already a silent liver cancer advancing to terminal stage. So yes, of course, that was very traumatic, because once my mom was actually formally diagnosed on July 4. So that's why no, it's supposed to be a celebration, but for me personally, I have the heartache on all July 4s because of the sudden death of my mom. So yeah, after that, we booked our flight right away to go back to the Philippines. My sister in California, my dad from California, my brother from Norway. However, because what's this? My mom was unfortunately not well taken care of in how we perceived it to be, because she was having double infections at that time. And two of the doctors decided to stop the antibiotics, which unfortunately just let the infection, persist and destroy my mom's body. So they were so scared that with the antibiotics, the liver would advance to my mom would die because of liver cancer. However, missing the fact that infection could also be a killer. And within a few days, we were supposed to arrive already in the Philippines. My mom was rushed to the hospital, and within 3 days, she died. And that was a couple of days just before I was supposed to arrive, and my siblings and all family. So I feel that I was robbed by that opportunity to have said goodbye to my mom. And I wish the doctors would have been more prudent with their jobs, like educating and really pushing my mom to go through further tests, because with cancer, there's a lot of pain.
So now, when you look at other patients who might be in the same age range, who struggling with something closer to your mom went through, what are your emotions? How do you connect with them?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I remember right after my mom's death, it was a struggle for me to really work in like the elderly population, because I could see my mom, or I could see, like, especially if my mom had very nice legs and everything. And there's no sexual thing about this, okay? But just like if there's a patient who happened to have like almost the same leg structure as my mom, oh my gosh, I would really control myself to cry. I would go to the restroom right away and then cry my heart out, because it was very hard for me. So I've never knew depression until after my mom died. So it was also a struggle for me. At the same time, trying to heal myself, but I could not. So until now, I could not really say that I have fully recovered from the death of my mom. My mom was a principal structure in our lives, and there's truth that mothers are the light of the family, because like after that, it's like the candle. Say for example, if you're in a very dark room, pitch dark, and there's only this candle, and you blew that candle off, it's like that. My world really sank to like a super dark world that I've never knew. And then you think back of all the memories and everything. And so there's wisdom in what the others would say, like appreciate your parents while they're still here, because yeah, it's at the end of the day, you're here because of your parents. And I was very close to my mom, and yeah, actually it kind of crossed my mind, because she was falling because she had medical issues, which resulted to some falls. And my fear at that time, that's why I had to actually delay up to like the last minute that my visa was gonna be denied. There's like only there's an allocated time. If you have the green card or the immigrant visa in your passport, you have to get into the United States, enter the United States within that time frame. Otherwise, it would be revoked.
Right.
At that time, I've always, because of so long of years of waiting, oh my gosh, I would swear, the moment I received my immigration visa stamped on my passport, I would fly the very day, or the very next day. That was how immediate it was. But that was before I realized that, oh my gosh, this is really coming true. Like, oh my God, if I leave the Philippines, my mom used to live here. She abdicated her green card, all right, because of I told you, of the long wait. That's why I really, it would be unfair if there's impunity for those who break the immigration laws with regards to illegally migrating here. Because we really suffered through the family separation, and my mom had to abdicate her green card, go back to the Philippines, and just be with us, because the wait was becoming too long. And so anyways, going back to that time, so when I finally got my visa, it was only then that it sunk on me that, I may leave and my mom might have a fall and I would not be there,
Mm.
to take care of, because, gotta fly and everything. And I've witnessed my mom like at least once where there was like this big thug on the floor. And so yeah, so at that time when I realized, oh my God, I will really be, it's a life changing, migrating is life changing. Yeah, so it's, you have to leave everything behind. Of course, you can always go back, but just because I have like an ailing mom, not really terminally, but she's like all, always on the bad, kind of on the bad side of health, like decisions and everything. I feared that, I would not see her anymore. So at that time, that was just at the back of my mind. That was my fear. So when I got the visa, I think June, I had to delay and delay and delay. I left. My father was already getting worried. When are you coming over here in the United States? I thought you wanted this for. I said yes, but at that time I didn't, of course, verbalize that kind of fear. For some reason, that came into my mind only after I received the visa. Like, oh my gosh, this is really the truth. And then everything sinks in. Like, oh my gosh, if something happened, blah blah blah. So I extended it until the last week, and my dad was like, "Oh my gosh, maybe they're not gonna allow you to enter because you waited until the last minute." I said, "That's fine," but yes, that was my greatest fear, and that was the last memory of my. I did not even sleep on my last night, trying to help her out in as much as I could, because yeah, just that fear, and so yeah, there's still a lot of pain in me because we also had like I've been asking her doctors at the medical city. It's like top hospital, but just to get her medical records. But I was like, I did not get how do you call that? I did not get, like here, if you request for medical documents, you would be given, you would be scared. Not me, I'm a healthcare professional. Once a patient or a relative asks for their medical documents, they have the right to do that. And I already asked help from other agencies, but unfortunately, if you're going against a very big hospital, unfortunately, it's like Goliath, David and Goliath. And until now, I don't have that closure on what happened to my mom. I just wanted to find out because there were some irregularities also in the hospital. And even one of the doctors, I was asking, hey, can I request what happened and why is the billing like this and like that? I was actually replied with an attack like, oh, you were not even here when your mom. I said, oh my gosh, I could not even, if I say that to a family member now, oh my gosh, my license could be revoked. But I wish that there could be more accountability when it comes to the Philippine setting health-wise. The patient's rights is always superior over any doctors or medical entities, just supposedly just like here or worldwide. And my sadness then was on July 4, after her CT scan, which showed that she had multiple large tumors in the liver. Family member came to ask the top nephrologist. Okay, allegedly the nephrologist denied, saying, oh no, you don't have to know. I will just report to the cardiologist who was my mom's primary care. But my thing is, we were paying. We don't have insurances usually in the Philippines. So imagine the rage inside of me that you as a patient, you could not get a word from a top nephrologist of your mom's condition. Even if my mom was suffering from liver cancer, her kidneys already progressed from stage 3 to stage 4, I think end stage renal disease or something like that. What gave the nephrologist the right to deprive us of the information we wanted so badly and just tell us that he would report it to the doctor? And it betrays me that this nephrologist is actually invited worldwide to speak in behalf of in front of other nephrologists who already know a lot about kidneys, while there, my family was ignorant about what's going on. Well, just ask. We have the right? If you have an X-ray, you have the right to explain it to me. You're the healthcare provider. We're not asking you beyond your capacity as a nephrologist. Only what you can say about the kidneys, because at that time, her EGRF I think fell to 12, which here in America, I believe if you have a certain number, and this is just for education purposes also, if your EGRF or kidney numbers fall at a certain number, they would rush to do like a dialysis or something. But there, with my mom already on that stage, she decided to, oh no, let's wait and see, maybe next week how low can an EGRF be before you start a dialysis on her. It's like she gave up already, because the following week my mom died, a day before my brother's birthday. So that was pretty how do you call that, like this could not be happening to me moment. So take advantage while your mom is, or your whatever, stepmom, stepdad, siblings, loved ones, friends are still alive. No amount of I love yous is enough. And whatever gesture that you can give to them, appreciate it, because you never know their sacrifices until you have the same. And we're in a world where we're very lucky. We have already all the resources in life, way ahead of like a decade or 2 decades or 3 decades ago when they were at our ages. So yes, and you don't want to have the same haunting regret, like, oh, I did not do that. Those are things that would not really let you sleep at night. So I just wished I was able to hug my mom for the last time. And so yeah, of course we don't know, because some of the you could have accident, you could die, but yeah, it could have been possible had my mom just been admitted to the hospital early. Unfortunately, in the field, like me, I was already encouraging my sister, and she was encouraging the doctor, have my mom be admitted. They went already to the doctor ready with the bags and everything, so my mom could be admitted. The doctor said no, and I could not understand. As I told you, my first love is not really healthcare job, but I think if someone is dying, I need to be more on the cautionary side and have the patient get admitted, because had my mom been admitted, my mom died of sepsis and everything. How do you call this? Metabolic acidosis. But she had also cancer, and for the longest time she was complaining this pain. As a healthcare worker, I could not have my patients suffer if there are alternatives to that, like her be given like a powerful, painkillers and everything. You want comfort at the last moment. You don't want a patient, especially your mom, die suffering when there's an alternative, when we have money to pay. It would be understandable if you have no means, but if it's already there, why not provide comfort to the patient? In fact, like all the marijuana and everything, I am pro, if that could only be accepted for, like in the Philippines, for cancer treatment or any regulated drug, because at that point in your life you want some comfort. You don't want to be dying in pain. So that really breaks my heart, because if you're a doctor, you need to be like protective of the patient. Whatever you can provide a patient, you need to do that. And
some of the problem comes from the pressure of the institution and insurances and stuff, because I'm speaking from my own experience. Like you talk about painkiller.
yes, yeah.
Giving
No,
a painkiller in an IV is considered should be the last thing, and which, I mean, when a person is in emergency, right?
mhm.
It's already not normal. And if you're gonna say, yeah, let me give you Tylenol and go home and
Mm-hmm.
get Tylenol, then why would a patient land in an emergency? Because you give
Yeah.
them an IV. But that's a whole different debate. But let's go back to you. So now, when you see an elderly woman, can you work with them as a patient
Yes, right
provider?
now,
Or-
yes, the time, time heals. It doesn't erase everything, but time heals, and
And do you
we're
feel,
very
sorry to
giving.
interrupt, do you feel a sense of gratification and reward when you work with people who are in your parents' age range?
Yes, yeah, either younger or older than my, because there's a wide range of
No,
patients that
I
we
know
see.
there are, but
Yes.
in particular that fall in the age range of your mom
Mhm.
and your father.
Yes, yeah, of course, you feel gratification on that. And in fact, like going back to the fear of mine, like my mom would die. Our greatest fear would be my mom would die by falling and hitting her head, because that's very, we had like a relative who just actually passed away because she had a fall,
Mm.
and then there was like hemorrhagic bleeding in the brain and everything, and then died, unfortunately. So it's very true. So when I first came here, I kind of like bargained with God. I told her, no, not really. I told her, I'm gonna take care. I know this is like in a selfish way, but I just wanted to impart how worried I was with my mom. I was praying to God, I'm gonna take care of all these folks, but please take care also of my mom, because I don't have the power. And you're God, you have the power. If I know this may not be like in ordinary setting or whatever, but I know at that time that he had like a power to save my mom from a fall and everything, because I'll take care of the patients here, wholeheartedly, but please take care also. That was my prayer to God. So yeah, but the insurance thing, I told you, there's no insurance usually in the Philippines, but I wish that the setting would not be in the Philippines. Doctors are always regarded as like gods. I wish that could not would cease to be the case, because you're not gods. You need to be serving and we were paying out of pocket cash. And if a family is asking for medical explanation, that is the patient's right, and which should be protected and internationally held at the highest regard. But more so if in front of you is an ignorant family of a dying patient who fast, like super duper, what's this, my mom was really terminally ill already. The more that you need to like speed up, oh my gosh, your mom is about to die, or like these are not good numbers, have your mom, do you think my mom would have, because this is my message to those doctors, do you think my mom would have had more comfort dying at home in pain without any pain medication, with her infections drowning her bodies, aside from the terminal liver cancer, versus to being admitted in the hospital, having her IV fluid set up and everything? Because I saw the last photo of my mom sitting up, was actually not sitting up. My sister took a picture of it in a manual wheelchair without headrest. So her mom was like slumped on one side, and that could have been partly because she was already super dehydrated. My sister was complaining to the doctors how she was not eating anymore, she was not drinking anymore, because of course if you have cancer, you have no appetite and everything. What in the world were they thinking not to have my mom be admitted and have an IV, just to because I read that like because when you're so dehydrated, you could, weakness and everything, you don't have the necessary proteins, nutrients in the body, and you coupled with your disease, your aging and everything. So my mom suffered a lot, and unfortunately too, this was during COVID, and it boggles me where at before when you go to an airline, before you would be admitted into the country, like in the Philippines, they would test you first upon arrival. And then if you're cleared, you're free to go out and, otherwise you would be detained in the hospital.
So
So,
to quarantine there.
yes, yeah. So for airlines, it only takes 1 day or less than 24 hours to get the result at that height of COVID. This was July 2020. While in the top hospital, all right, what's this in the medical city? It took like 2 days, I believe so. So what I mean to say, my mom, because of her infection, she had pneumonia. She was quarantined, fearing that she had COVID. So my sister could not even visit my mom inside inside the ICU special quarantine section. So my thing is, my mom died alone just because of this war. When my mom was already cleared, she was already dying. So I wish that, come on, airline has more power now to have like speedier results for COVID rather than the top hospital. Really, and we are talking about people who could be dying anytime, and the patient's relatives cannot be at bedside because of that clearance, which took longer than an airline. So yes, it's just frustrating, and wishfully things will get better. But yes, that taught me how to treat our dad better. Like, we appreciate more. My dad is the only remaining parent we have, so that's why we try to understand him the best we could. He's not perfect and everything, and I try to always think of all the good things that he has done, and the reason why I'm here is because of him and his relatives. And and we had to treat him to Rome, and then now we're asking him where to go and everything. And we just want him, because at the end of the day, my dad is never showing. He has like a different how do you call that, way of telling us that he loves us. He provided us with the best shoes that he can find, like in Saudi Arabia, the best toys, the best food that he can take home from abroad. So he was very selfless too. So whatever we can do for him now cannot be compared to what he had to sacrifice at that time. So imagine he could get sick also abroad, like in those almost 2 decades that he was there. His health was not perfect. So what was he thinking during those times? Like, he was alone. So yes. So it's a tough thing, and which actually made me think now, because, say for example, I have also my aunts and uncles who were really helpful while growing up. And my uncle, we were actually lucky because my uncle was married to my aunt. He's a doctor, so every time we get sick, we don't have to go to the doctor. He would go to us. So those things you don't get to appreciate when you were little, not because you feel entitled to ourselves, but you just don't realize. But now, I even contacted my siblings here when get in touch with our aunts and who helped us, during those times when we were kids. So yes, appreciation is a big thing.
It is a big thing, and something came to my mind while you were talking about doctors and airlines. And it doesn't matter where you're at a hospital or a coffee shop or an airline. Whenever you working with another human being, whenever you are in connection with another human being, and if you right away think, this could be your brother, your sister, your daughter, your mother, your grandmother, I think your perspective will change if you are of sane mind.
Yes, yeah.
And maybe that's something we all need to think about, because I've seen people not dealing others nicely, especially those in need at the airports and airlines and medical facilities as a whole. This IV thing I was talking more about the US.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I've noticed, some institutions don't use the term doctor. They'll say provider will see you now,
Mm-hmm.
because I think it's a great thing because they're maybe trying to balance that a doctor. So nowadays, whether you're an MD or DO, they're DOs too, right? And there are a couple of other
Yeah.
they come from different trainings,
Mm-hmm.
but when they'll check, say primary care could be any educational background,
Mm-hmm.
so they'll just use the term provider.
Or clinician.
They also use
Yeah,
clinician.
clinician.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Okay.
clinician are like, yeah.
So in that sense, so it's not that they think, oh my God, I am somebody, but
Oh no, here it's different. There's
Yeah.
a lot of accountability.
I think there things have changed. Like
Yeah.
say 15 years ago, it was different than now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we have
And
less migrants also, like me. You, it has an
mean-
impact in the society because then you want like more of like equality and everything, and that also pertains to like doctors and
I have to be honest, I have come across as a patient and otherwise doctors and nurses from all ethnic backgrounds.
Mhm.
And a lot of them are great, some of them do suck,
Mhm.
and it has nothing to do with their ethnicity or
Mhm.
cultural background. It's just humans are humans, and I wish we were more considerate. But I think like we gotta rethink when it comes to connecting with another human being. How do we view them? It reminds me of a reel. I was once on social media. I scroll and watch um, a little bit of it. So there's a clip, and there's a guy. He goes around and he asks this dumb question: "Will you date me?" Right? And the woman he's asking this question to, she said, "I could be your mom."
Mhm.
And now this is a joke, but what if, as I said, what if the person admitting you in at a hospital,
Mhm.
the person looking at your boarding pass, or helping you make your transition to an airport, or even selling you coffee, the waiter, waitress, or people like yourself. So, what if we all view the next person that she could be my mom, he could be my dad, she could be my sister, she could be my daughter, he could be my son.
Mhm.
I think the world might be better than where we are today.
Yeah. Yeah, correct. Yeah, but I don't.
You're not optimistic?
The probabilities are low. Like,
Sure. I mean, people who have changed the world.
Mhm.
Let's talk about Christianity. You talk about, I haven't been to the Philippines, but Catholic Church, wherever I went,
Okay.
including Bangkok, right? Thailand. I saw a cathedral there or some sort of St. Francis thing there.
Mhm.
I don't remember. It was convent or what. Christianity always was under 10% of the population, the world's population.
Mhm.
And among that 10%, majority of the Christians have been nominal Christians. They would say, I'm a Christian. But their life does not show
Yeah.
the Christian values and belief system, right?
Yeah. It's, Mhm.
Still, no matter where you go in the world, mostly you will see, apart from a few countries, you will see hospitals and schools and orphanages or community centers
Mhm.
having some sort of Christian impression.
Yeah.
So that's why I am very optimistic when I think that the change can come from very few people, and
That strong of an impact. I hope
Yeah.
so. Yeah.
because it's like being the light, being the salt.
Yeah,
Remember,
I
you
know, I
said
know.
you
I'm
used the
still,
light example.
yes, I'm
Your
still,
mom?
yeah, my light actually was also extinguished after my mom's death. I told you, you never really know the impact of one's loss into your life until you experience it.
Yeah.
So I've always regarded myself as very strong and extremely resilient until that thing happened. And yes, and I'm still in the process. So yeah, that's my gift to my mom. I don't want to be beaten by this experience, because at the end of the day, she doesn't want me
Right.
to be defeated in this. So it hurts me when I recall or think about it, but I try to like not to think about it, because of course I it could affect my how do you call this, my health also, sleeplessness, everything, my mental health and health in general was impacted after her death. So I don't want to have that take control of me. But yeah.
The other thing I'm going to say is, if I wasn't optimistic,
Mhm.
I would not have started this.
Yes, I know
So
you've been.
if I am investing my own resources to have this show, I could have just like gone on a boat or wherever,
Yes, yeah.
and save money. But I chose to do this because I still believe in the transformation. Why? Because I believe the Holy Spirit transforms. I believe that's the foundational principle of my faith, right? Our faith. And I just want to be one of those guys who multiplied the talent. And I'm going to end with that story, paraphrasing it. So if you remember the story, Jesus is telling the story to his disciples that there's a master and he gave talents to his pupils. And distributor, right? So he gave 5 and 3 and 1. And the guy who got 1, he hid it. He didn't do anything with it. And when the master came and he said, I was scared. You are a tough guy. And I know you really, the phrase is, wherever you sow, you do not harvest there, right? So I was scared of losing your talent. So there you go. Whatever the talent is, I don't know what talent is. But the master liked the one who multiplied the talent. And the talent could be a gift. It doesn't mean you have to have millions of dollars to do something. You can make a difference in someone's life, as you mentioned, by merely being nice to them, attentive, considerate, right? If you're a doctor, as an example, why would you leave your patient in pain? That was your question.
Yeah, because you really cannot fathom the pain that my mom had to suffer on her last days. So.
And I actually became friends with a gentleman. He was a medical doctor in Kuala Lumpur, and his sister, he mentioned, is a medical doctor in San Francisco. And he said, she's not happy, and we talked a little more. And long story short, I was able to understand, because when healthcare professionals are told this is what you can do and not, don't use our syringe and injection, especially if the patient doesn't have insurance or they have a cheap insurance, just ask them to take, as I give an example, Tylenol and go. Then there is this battle, that's the conflict between yourself,
your values,
and your
monetary
system.
Source of money, source of like income to go on living.
Long time ago, there was a plastic surgeon. It was in one of the Midwestern states, and he was the plastic surgeon. People who do sinus surgeries and all, not like cosmetic, not cosmetic surgeon. And he said he wasn't allowed to keep any patient overnight. And my concern was, what if a patient dies? Because the patient doesn't have to look after them. Because they still have anesthesia in the system. And they say, make sure there's somebody with you for 20. Yeah, right.
Could fall. Oh my God.
Like, I don't know. And that's the thing where the system, people, what was Jesus doing fighting the system? Can anyone do that? Yes. But is it easy? No, it has a cost, sacrifice, right? And that's why whenever you say I'm a person of faith, I have values and beliefs rooted in that faith. And if you really mean it, then you should live it out.
But
Otherwise, why?
But that's a sad thing about the doctor. You said, really, like he was not allowed. Oh my gosh! Like, or yeah, just
I'm not saying any name of any medical institution, any
nothing.
doctor,
Yeah. But it
any
just like
insurance.
opens your eyes about like the problem of like health, insurance here. And
Because they are
everything.
pressured. Because the thing is, like, if you keep the patient 2 days, let's say, or even one night, insurance has to pay for that. So there's a lot of systematic pressure.
Yes, I know, but it's not like insurances are not being given bonuses of like hundreds, tens of thousands. We read that, right? Like the CEO or whatever of this insurance. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, would get like bonuses of like a lot, right?
CEO will get the bonus.
Sorry, no. Like what I mean to say, they won't be able to really give that huge of bonuses to those CEO top staff
If they don't make enough money.
Yeah, so how much more greed do we have to cut off prematurely someone else's medical benefits that could potentially save their lives or like make their lives easier, facilitate living? And so it's just a question like how much more? You cannot, like if I give you like $1 million or whatever.
That's not enough for me.
Yeah, like
I want more. That's what I was saying. That your desires earlier
insatiable
this morning when we were saying
insatiable
it will never stop.
Insatiable appetite for the worldly things. But at the end of the day, like if you compare, because like if you come from a very poor family and you start working at like 5 years old, I doubt if you would be ending up was this throwing away your money. Unlike if you had some of the stars, they commit suicide. I sometimes, I'm assuming because they don't find any value anymore or sense in why they're living.
Purpose.
Yes. However, if you come from a really poor family and you have that angst within you to keep on living, keep on, helping your family or give back to your family. So it's just the tricky world when you have so much. If you have a life in excess, it could also be dangerous. And I hope the people are all still wanting to have more bonuses. We haven't surpassed last year's bonus or last year's income. Oh my gosh, that is like mind-boggling to me. Like you have to let go of a lot of people because you did not reach your budget. But at the end of the day, you're still in a positive. You're still having income, but then not in the positive or income that you would like it to be as high. Or so beats me because
that's why the foundation is to love your God and love your neighbor. Same way you love yourself, right? And that's something which is the most difficult thing to do, because why should I share my resources with someone else, right? And that's the whole truth about the faith, is that if you learn how to do that, then you'll be contented. And when you're contented, you're embracing peace. And when you're at peace, you probably don't need anything else because you were happy. That's the state where this joy is, and the greater joy, the happiness that's unexplainable.
Amen to that.
So thank you so much, darling girl. Thank you for coming here. It was a pleasure having you.
Mr.
Such a fun talk.
And dramatic.
It's all right. Thank you for being
it's still there, the pain, but
honest.
Yeah.
It was I would say it was an honor and a gift to listen to you.
And thank you for having us.
Deep uh, things that you had in your heart.
Yeah, and thanks for having us. Thanks for allowing us to having this platform. To
Absolutely.
yes, yeah, we're thankful for that, and more power.
Good.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, shukriya.
No, it doesn't usually go like this. It goes like this. Wait, not military. It's slightly like this.
So shukriya. Okay.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Connery.